cooperate. You can give me feedback even when you can't speak anymore. You can give me feedback that doesn't result in me getting hit. We can figure out ways to share information because I'm paying attention to what you're able to do. So I'm going to show you where this data gets processed in your brain. It's huge. Do this. The entire top surface of your brain is devoted to sensory motor, sensation and movement, and they are, do this, hardwired together. What you feel drives what you do. What you do drives what you feel. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And there is wiring between what you see and what you do. And there is wiring in a normal brain between auditory processing and sensory motor processing. So if I were to say for two of you all, stand up, we're going to go downstairs, your brain would take in that auditory data, translate that into an action statement, and get your body organized to stand up, and you would even know where we were heading. By late stage dementia, that's exactly what people with dementia hear when we try to give them auditory data. They lose the content, but they keep the rhythm, and they can't figure out what we're trying to get them to do. And it's not because they're not trying, and it's not because we're not trying. It's because we're using the wrong system for what they have left.
Have you noticed that people in later stages of dementia seem to have trouble understanding what you want them to do and then doing it? Mind you, it depends what interactions you've had with people with later stage dementia. No, you haven't. Have you had any interactions?
I've had reaction with my brother-in-law. Yes.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yes, and I noticed that he was unable to smile after a while. If he wanted to smile when he saw me, it was a frown.
Oh, okay. Anyone else, or you haven't had really interactions? Okay, that's okay. And you can turn to your partner or just share aloud again, maybe just share aloud. How does this activity and processing help you better understand why problems sometimes arise when we're trying to help someone?
It really helped me understand because it's like asking a blind person to look at this beautiful flower, but they don't have the capacity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I can communicate with them on a level that they can communicate with me on, it is participative. So it invites and includes as opposed to excluding. So it really it's really good.
Well, it'd be like speaking to somebody in a different, or being in a conversation, witnessing a conversation that's in a tongue that you don't speak.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't understand what's being said, you're out of the loop. You don't have
Yeah.
any value, or you can't make any comments. You're not involved. So by having it be communicated in a language that is understood by both parties, then it's a shared experience, and I think there can be some benefit from it, or understanding more so than misconnecting because you're speaking a different tongue or dialect.
Mm-hmm. And then think of at least one situation in which you might use this approach, and then share that with your partner.
Even just that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm often working with people or dealing with families or students that their main language may not be the same as mine. There is a lot of nonverbal cues, you know. You might have to use hand motions or some other directive to get the information across because you're limited in the language that you both understand.
Okay.
So it does, at times I could see that being applicable in those scenarios where, you know, you're trying to ask, or somebody that's choking or something, and that's a universal
And
symbol for
it's-
choking.
yeah.
They don't have to speak anything. It's everybody can understand what the next step should be based upon their motion or demonstration.
So the other two, what
So
you
do the
smell,
actions with her.
and what you taste. Those are your five senses. Those are the ways you get data into your brain. So what are they? What you see, what you
Touch,
hear,
Hear,
what
what
you
you
feel and do, what you
Smell.
smell, and what you taste.
Yeah.
These three are your skill manipulators. These two are strong and primitive. But people with dementia are just in the opposite way, like children when it comes to sensory data. Children develop which of these first? Curiosity
touch.
or safety awareness?
Mhm.
Which do they get first? Curiosity. Who's in charge of safety awareness? Someone else, not them. They can care less about safety awareness. They're curious about everything. They want to investigate everything. They're curious. They want to check it out. They have absolutely no safety awareness. Fortunately for everybody, they're pretty well padded. They have pretty quick reflexes. They don't have necks. And their heads sit right on top of their shoulders. They have a long torso. They've really got lots of padding everywhere for both insulation and padding. And their bones are not fragile. They're pretty dense. They bounce. When you get dementia, your brain fries in the opposite way it was developed. It dies, it fries. It's not working in the opposite way. So what are they going to keep? Curiosity. What are they going to lose? Safety awareness. Here's a heads up, you're not my mother. I resent it when you try to be my mother because I've lived a rich, full life. I am not 3 years old. I am not 18 months old. You don't treat me like that. And yet my skill set requires that you figure out how to create an environment that's safe for me. But it still has to have this or I won't stay there. But if it's too much, I get overwhelmed. And if it's not safe, And I don't have what they have. I don't have padding. My bones are fragile. My fat pads have all gone to my trunk. I don't have it in my extremities. And I'm losing skills, and I lose them in the opposite way I develop them. That's the reality.
So really quickly, we're going to go back to our scenario, just a quick pause, and I'm just going to have you guys do the actions with the video.
So real quickly, we're going to go back to our scenario. And what I want you to realize, human beings, when they decide to go do something, what happened is I was sitting here and I got a call to my appetite. I'm thirsty. Core. Well, now the core of my brain is in the center part of my brain. Do this. This is the limbic system. This is that thrive to survive. This is the part that says I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I've got to peep, I've got to poop. And now it's time, and you guys are getting close to that. It's, look, temperature regulation. It's also how I fight infections. It's heart rate, respiratory rate. It's wake-sleep cycle. All that's in the core of my brain, in the limbic system. And then part of that limbic system, put your index fingers out, is my amygdala. Your amygdala is the survival thing. It's your impulse center. Yeah! Fright, flight, fight. Part of the limbic, but special. It's basically designed to protect you in moments of danger. So it's, shit, what was that? No, I don't like that. I want what I want when I want it. Do that. Oh,
So you,
what was that? Because some of you can't say shit. I don't know why. You can in certain situations, but just not here in front of everybody. Oh, what was that? That's fright. Then, no, that's flight.
right.
I want what I want when I want it. Fight. Fight, flight, fright. Automatic, basic core stuff. Then around the outside is built other stuff. The last part of a human brain to develop, put your hand right up here, is this one. Safety awareness. That ability to think things through, to be thoughtful, to consider your options, to control that limbic system, that autonomic system, and instead say, you know what, not a good idea. Hang on there. Let's not go right now. Let's wait a second. Making decisions. Initiating, sequencing, terminating, and being able to see something from somebody else's point of view. Very last part of a human brain to develop. There are some people who never get it. Just so you know. You know them. So here I am in the living room, and I decided to make coffee. That was my limbic system saying you're thirsty, go get something. And I started to act on that, but what happened? Oh, look, gosh, telephone rang, an interruption, auditory. I knew what to do, I answered the phone because I recognized what it was. And then when I heard my friend's voice, I knew who it was, but I could not think of her name right that moment. aging. And here's why. What happens with normal aging is the following. Put your hand to the back of your brain. For each human being you've ever met, you take a picture, snapshot. If you see them multiple times, you have multiple snapshots, and you have them each in a file folder marked that person. But then, in order to come up with the name of that person, you have to go up here to the left, temporal lobe, and find your file cabinet for names. You have to sort down through the list of names to find the one that matches that picture. And then what you have to do, go over here, you have to do voice recognition, and match it up, and then out of your mouth from this side comes the word, hey Betty. Here's a reality check. Our speed of processing slows over time. It's basically 0.5 to 1% per year from the time you're 25 on. Yeah, around 40 to 50, you're starting to notice the slowing. And so I go to get the data, and it's like, the mouse is not clicking nearly as fast. Now, let me tell you something about these mouse. If you keep clicking that button, you freeze the mouse up, and the mouse goes, oh shit, I don't know what you want. Hang on, stop. I don't know what, wait a minute, I'm thinking. What am I thinking? I can't tell you anymore. You want me to think of something. I can't think of it. Oh, blank, blank, blank. It starts with a B. I got to the file drawer. I even got to the right area, but I couldn't come up with the name as quick as I wanted to come up with the name and the expectation. And so some of us go, oh, hey, sweetheart, how are you? I'm cheating. I'm using automatic system to cover for the loss. And some of you call me on it. Who do you think this is? Why are you so mean? One of these days you'll be older. You'll have that moment of, shit, I don't know, I know him. This is why we give you name tags. This is why name tags are a good thing. Because what did I provide for your eyeballs? Check, there it is. I don't need to look at the file cabinet. Look, I found it. So as you get with older people, you'll start to notice when you wear your name tag, they look at your name tag after they look at your face, and then they say your name. That's because they're smart. Some of you are doing it here. And if not, you hate when people call you on this. Why are we so mean? Here's what you want to learn how to do. Hey, Betty, it's Teepa. Why don't we talk like that anymore? We used to say things. There was a polite way that you did the telephone. We don't do it anymore. You go, hey, you know who I am? Or my least favorite, when you know somebody has dementia, Mom, which one am I? What is this, a quiz right away? I don't like you very much anymore. You're making me feel stupid. How many people like feeling stupid? Raise your hand if it's your favorite way to feel. We've got to quit doing this, because what it ends up happening is you shut down my system, you don't make it work, because right away you shoved your agenda at me. So when we go downstairs, which we are going to do, because you know what I'm noticing? Your limbics are starting to get really active. Y'all had coffee, maybe some juice, you had those, and your limbic is going, we need to pee. We need to pee now. I need to get up, I need to go pee. Can we go pee? I thought we were going to pee. Are we not going to go pee? I need to go pee. And so your limbic system is sort of queuing you up. We got to go soon. And it better not be long. And getting out of these chairs, we better be careful. Because also I will tell you, some of you have to cue the system up. And here's the first thing. Tell me what you do first thing in the morning when you want to go to the bathroom. You want to know what you do? Hold the pee. Because in the very beginning, your limbic said, we need to pee. And when you were really little, what happened when you needed to pee? You pee. As you get older, you learn, not here, not now. We have to put it in a place, a certain place. As you get a little older, these systems are not working as quick and sharp as you might hope. So you actually have to devote energy to hold the pee, make the other muscles work, but hold the pee, keep holding the pee, hold that pee. Keep holding it. Ooh, we're in the bathroom. Do not let go. Hang on tight. Got to do a lot of other things. Keep holding the pee, hold back the pee while you go, okay, now put it down. Now the guys have another problem. Okay, now you can let go. Okay, really, you can. It just relax. No, don't hold on. No, come on, there's more. I'm telling you, there's more. Come on, let's let it out. Come on. No, don't tighten up. No, that's not enough. So the women have stress incontinence, and the guys have bladder outlet problems. They have retention. So this is the tricky part of getting old. It has nothing to do with dementia. But you put dementia on top of it, and we have big issues. When we meet back downstairs, what we're going to do is finish out the scenario and talk about skill building. And the whole thing is going to come together for you to help you appreciate how you can help people take in data and how you can use your skill to be supportive.
She's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So So, have you ever had an interaction with a child where they started to do something unsafe because they were curious?
Mhm.
Yes.
And how did you handle it? Or you can tell me basically what happened, give an example maybe, one or two of you, and how did you handle the situation? Talking about starting to do something unsafe because they're curious, and their curiosity kind of won.
Either
Yeah,
elevated my voice in order to warn them, don't touch that, or push them.
And what happened? What was the child trying to do, if you remember?
Touch something that was hot
Okay.
and wanting to prevent, or running in the street.
Okay. Dad, do you
I
have any-
recall you been at the beach and you started toward the water because you were
Curious.
you were curious
Yeah.
about it. And at no time did I ever take my eyes off of you, and at no time did I let you get too far away from me. I wanted to let you feel some independence, but not enough that at any point that I thought you were in danger, I couldn't get my
like
hands
a
on you.
wave happen. And Ken, I know you are with kids all the time.
Yeah, every day. I mean, typically try to, warn them or give some sort of announcement of danger if I can, or try to kind of let them find their way if it's not too dangerous, if it's not going to be something where they won't be able to apply the lesson later, like they broke an arm because they were hanging upside down on the bars or something. Like sometimes it's better for them to be in charge of their own understanding, but typically announcing some sort of danger or alerting them to the presence of it if they don't see it somehow.
And that just showed the difference between children regarding your own children versus watching someone else's children, because they're still a
Be
child,
responsible.
you're still responsible, you don't want them to be hurt, but that kind of could show an added level of like, which you could argue the level of attention you would have with someone that isn't your child would be even higher possibly than is your child, because of that extra sense of responsibility, which I wouldn't know, but I would assume. And then given what you know now, does what happened make sense in terms of, given what you know about safety awareness coming, kind of being the back burner to curiosity, which I know you already know, but in terms of a child, does what happened in whatever scenario you were referring to kind of make sense in
Yes,
terms of the safety
definitely.
awareness? Yeah. And now think about people living with dementia and ask yourself the same questions. Do you have a better understanding of what happened and why? Now, again, I don't know if all of you have particular examples with people with dementia, but if you're comparing the idea of curiosity and safety awareness to what you even would imagine to be the reality of someone with dementia, do you have a better understanding of kind of why they might react in the way that they do, or why,
Yes.
or how the kind of curiosity versus safety awareness, like she mentioned, kind of will backtrack based on the order that it was developed in.
Absolutely.
Well, their processing, their processor at that point is kind of reversed. Like she said, it's on the fritz, so it makes sense that they would not assess the scenario with the same logic or reason that a fully functional brain might be able to do in the same scenario.
And what is one thing you plan to change in your care routine based on what you have learned?
Allowing people to be more participative as opposed to it's doing it for
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
so that they have the value. So they have value and they have they're vetted, they're all in.
And I know for you guys it might be different because they're asking in your care routine, which is more caregiving. But I know that even like, I mean, with your mom, that's technically caregiving, even though it's different. But and then working with children for Kenan, I know that's obviously caregiving, even though it's not people with dementia. But just seeing how you can apply that to your everyday life is what we're trying to get at. Okay.
quick review because we've changed places. And one of the things we know about brains is where you learn and hear something matters.
And try to
And
follow
one of the
along
things
with
as
her,
we get
whatever
older,
she-
it matters more than you think. When you
Sure,
change
something.
rooms, your brain resets the screen. And that is one of the reasons, even if there wasn't a phone call, you might walk from one room to the other and then, what was it I came in here for? Because when you're in a whole new setting, look at all the new data that's coming in and it's bombarding your senses. And if you didn't strongly hook the thing you wanted to go do into that, what's called working memory, by the time you get to the new place, there's nothing to find. Unless you go back to where you had the thought before and then you can find it. Now, I just said a word that's really important, working memory. We now know there's a whole variety of different kinds of memory storage in the human brain. We used to just think it was either long-term and short-term. That's not true. Working memory is probably one of the most vital kinds of memories, and it involves a complex process. Do this. Working memory means that you have to wire together all parts of your brain to get it to work. Because it's complex, human beings can hold the following number of things in working memory. Working memory means I'm able to manipulate and work with them all at the same time. 5, put your hand up. 5, isn't that wonderful? 5 to 8. That's the most a human being can hold on to, and this is the least that a normal functioning human being should be able to hold on to at a time. 5 to 8. So I should be able to hold on to at least 5 pieces of information in my working memory. It's actually pretty complicated. I've got to do a variety of things to do it.